Hey, Jim Dunaway from the next round. We're ready to relive the weekend in Southeastern Conference football with our friends at Cowin Equipment. We're fired up for another year. Before we look back, though, let me remind you, our friends at Cowin Equipment would love the opportunity to partner with your company for your heavy equipment needs. Visit Cowin.com to find out more about how Cowin can be your heavy equipment solution, from rental and new equipment sales to great service and parts. Check out Cowin Equipment's rental fleet hit list for a wide range of well-maintained equipment from their rental fleet for sale right now. Go to the website, Cowin.com, Cowin.com. Now let's talk a little football. Let's go first with a little bit of the games on the field, and then we'll get into this Auburn coaching search a little bit. Alabama beats Ole Miss in Oxford in a very entertaining football game. But a one-possession game, 30-24. Ole Miss has ball in hand driving, and there was a lot of feel for Alabama fans like this is going to be like Tennessee, this is going to be like LSU. Ole Miss is about to walk us off at the end, and they end up making a big play, Brian Branch in the end zone.
Yeah, look, it did look that way. You know, Alabama's down 10-0, down 17-7, down 17-14 at half. They take the 6-point lead late, and Ole Miss is able to get some big chunk yards on the ground on that final drive, which I know you loved because it cost you a steak. I was shocked that they ran the ball in that situation. But once they actually got, into a good position to possibly punch it in, they completely abandoned the run.
They did. I just don't think Lane Kiffin thought he could run it in based on that second half. And I know they had just hit the home run. Yeah. Not really a home run. He didn't score there, but they just hit the big run. But by and large, Alabama took the run away from them in the second half. And Pete Golding, as much criticism as he gets, that second half was terrific. They forced, as Gary Danielson very hoarsely pointed out, they forced Ole Miss into being a drop-back pass team, which they are not.
I love entertainment, and Lane Kiffin is extremely entertaining, especially in the postgame this year. After the loss to Alabama 30-24, Lane Kiffin had this interaction.
I guess even in defeat, Judge can still rush for 135 yards against one of the better rush defenses in the country. I mean, just kind of assess just what you saw through him just throughout 60 minutes.
Yeah, I don't, guys, let me just explain it really well. I don't really give a shit about how many yards we had, how close the game was. We didn't win the game. And 2 years ago, we walked off this field, and I said, we didn't come here to cover spreads. We didn't come here to play what at the time was the number one team in the country close. So all these things about, well, you did this good, and freshman running back, it doesn't matter. We didn't win the game. So, maybe some other places that's good, or it's been here and good in the past. It ain't good enough. We came here to win, to beat Alabama. We didn't do it. So we're 0-1 today.
Now, our buddy Josh Pate paints that as a picture that I call it Boosterism 101, that Lane Kiffin is speaking to boosters everywhere, maybe boosters in Auburn who would want to hire Lane Kiffin. That resonates with them. Boosters at Ole Miss, that resonates with them. Call me. What is it in y'all's favorite movie, Tombstone? Where
your Huckleberry?
Call me the Huckleberry. I eat that with a spoon right there. I mean, when a coach is talking like that, I eat that up. So I guess I'm the gullible one. That maybe that is just for people like me, and he's selling a loss in a better way for me, but I eat that soundbite up.
No,
right
I think
there.
he really believes it. I mean, look, they had every opportunity to win that game, and Alabama's not the Alabama team we've seen in the past. Boy, he has really worked on his Saban mannerisms.
Oh, he has. A lot. That was a lot of the reaction I saw in that, Lance.
Yeah.
Is like, my gosh, just like he's trying to do a Saban imitation. Yep. Yeah.
It's really what it was like.
But when you're on the market, if you're on the market, that's good mannerisms to have, right?
I would agree.
There's no moral victories when you're still in a race to win the SEC West.
That's right. They weren't dead. Alabama was the one that was dead in that game. And, just call it like it is. If you're Lane Kiffin standing there, and I don't know that Lane had absorbed or accepted what I'm about to say, or maybe he was standing there and he had accepted it, and it's one reason he was frustrated there, is Pete Golding outcoached you in the second half.
Alabama wins to sort of set the ship straight, but they're out of the West race. LSU clinches the West over the weekend, and they're out of the college football playoff race unless they're out of it.
They're out of it.
Here's Nick Saban on just a challenge he put down to the team.
Well, all I've been talking about is how the players competed in the game, and I think that they have a lot of pride in what the standard of playing Alabama is, and they were challenged to play to that standard, to take it personal, to understand that they're responsible for the identity that they create by how they play on the field. It shouldn't be anybody else that makes that determination for them. And I think that's, they took it personally, and I think they showed it in a game tonight.
Arkansas football, I mean, they were down. If anything that Sam Pittman might have messed up on, maybe he started the wrong guy.
That's right. I thought the third string quarterback who came in,
Cade Forden,
looked a lot better than Malik Hornsby. Maybe not at running the football, but what it was going to take to win that game. If he had started QB3 instead of QB2, but I'm not going to trash Arkansas football for playing a team that's in the playoff contention so close when they don't have their starting quarterback.
I'm telling you, KJ Jefferson plays that game, they win that game. That's how bad the quarterback play was for Arkansas.
Can I just go one step forward? If Harold Perkins' parents had not gotten together 18 years ago, Arkansas wins that football game.
Yeah, and look, Harold Perkins, and people thought this is, just hyperbole, over the top, whatever you want to call it. I think right now, the way he's playing, he might be the best defensive player
in America.
College football.
Yeah. He may be. And
most disruptive, at least.
He's got to be your SEC Freshman of the Year. I know Judkins has had a good year, but I mean,
that'd be close.
That'd be close. Do they do offense and defense? Because they are an upset.
Probably so, and that's easy if they do offensive defense.
I mean, can I just let's put that into the context. I want to read the line to you: 8 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a pass breakup.
Almost had a pick.
Yeah, 6 of those tackles were solo.
And here's where I'll criticize Briles and Sam Pittman. They kept single blocking the guy a lot, and I just don't understand why you're doing.
Or leaving him unblocked and trying to run away from him.
Scheme away from him and don't block. Yeah, and I mean, he's so fast, he chases you down from behind.
About 8 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, all over the field, impacted the game, obviously, to the level where, we win the game. Because of his final play, too. I don't think there's enough superlatives to talk about this young man as a true freshman coming into his own. You can imagine he was awarded the game ball, but he's he got sick before the game. I threw up as we were going into our team meeting, and I said, hey, MJ threw up when he had his greatest game, and he said, who's MJ? I was like, man, I am getting so old. But, he's pretty special.
You have Lane Kiffin there, who a number of Auburn fans want as the head coach. Most people would say he's the number 1 candidate. Have been saying that for a couple of weeks. And our friend Josh Pate was hinting there that what Lane Kiffin was saying after the game resonated down in booster rooms down in Auburn. You also had Carnell Williams, who's the beloved son, and it was a love fest for Carnell and his love of the program and the love of the Auburn program by the Auburn fans Saturday night. And what was an amazing atmosphere. You can't find me another place in America where a 3-6 team was playing a 3-6 team, and you would have that kind of atmosphere. It was magical down there. Talk to people who are Auburn people who were down there. Magical day.
It really looked like they were playing to get into an SEC championship.
It looked like the game was to represent the West.
It was amazing.
I agree.
Yeah, so you had all of that going on, and from the tweets we were getting all day long, it was one guy called it's like a Field of Dreams game. We're all here to support Carnell and just be at Jordan-Hare Stadium together one last time for an SEC game this year with beautiful weather and da-da-da-da-da. It was that kind of atmosphere. It was a great day to be an Auburn Tiger.
And what we lacking in talent that people say, and bodies and people that done moved on, and the naysayers, we can't do this, we don't have the big-time guys. We can make that up with our effort, our attitude, our mindset, our effort. Like, those are the things that are in our control. And one thing I do know about a team, if we can pull in the same direction, we can believe in each other, continue to fight, continue to serve, continue to be disciplined, continue to believe, like, sky's the limit.
Now, keep in mind, Jimbo Fisher, #1 recruiting class. Texas A&M becomes the first team with the #1 recruiting class the previous year not to go to a bowl game the next year. The first team ever to do that, to have a losing record.
Well, it's hard not to go to a bowl.
It really is. We've dumbed that down about as much as we can.
Yeah, when you've got that kind of talent, I mean, it's just inexcusable. And now they've lost 6 consecutive games for the first time since 1980 at A&M, for the first time ever in Jimbo Fisher's career. I can't even put a handle on it outside of the fact that play calling has just passed him by. He's so archaic. And even when you start Connor Wegman, the freshman, 13 consecutive incompletions is hard to do in college football. He did that in the second half.
Yeah, 13 straight passes that fell to the turf.
And they weren't drops. I mean, these were passes that were way off.
Yeah.
He was missing big, which is so strange.
At one point, it looks like he was throwing the ball, like pushing the ball down the field.
It was bad.
On that, Billy Lucci, who every program has a go-to guy that gives you the temperature of that program because he's so tied into the boosters that they feed him real information. Not that Billy's not a great investigative reporter on his own, but Texas A&M's money people trust Billy, and Billy's tied in with those people. This is what Billy Lucci says over the weekend. 0 answers. The A&M offense under Jimbo Fisher has officially bottomed out, which has to leave him no choice but to hand over the operation. This goes way beyond execution or youth at this point. Now, the backdrop of that is Jimbo continues to say it's execution, not schemes. He said that again in the postgame at Auburn. It's execution, not schemes. And that is a not real world view of this thing that can end up costing you your job at some point.
Well, look, H.A. not playing, that was obviously a big deal. It's amazing he is going to get a pass here. He's going to have to turn it over because boosters are talking about that $85 million, and they're trying to weigh whether or not it's going to be worth. Because again, I'll keep my philosophy going. You're going to have to pay him one way or another. Do you want to continue to pay for 4 or 5 losses? Now, even this year, maybe 6, 7, 8 losses, or do you want to go on and get rid of him and get the right guy in? But the only offensive coordinator I thought was worse in football, Bill Musgrave, just got fired from California.
Kirby Smart, no problem in Starkville against Mississippi State. Georgia now heading to play Kentucky, then Georgia Tech, then the SEC championship game, and then they're in the college football playoffs. Here's Kirby talking about that SEC championship game matchup with LSU.
It's set now. You're going to get LSU in Atlanta. Does that get any part of your attention, knowing what that will mean?
You know what the answer to that question is. We got to focus on Kentucky. I mean, why would anybody think that we're going to talk or even think about them? We have 2 games to play, right? Like, that's the furthest thing from my thought process. All I'm thinking about is how fast I can get on that plane to get rest so I can get ready for Kentucky tomorrow, because they were done at 12. They played at 12 today. They played at home at 12.
Yeah.
They got the head start.
They got the head start on me.
Kirby, they lost at 12 to Vandy. I think you got to sweat this one.
Did know when you asked the question the answer you were going to get.
Of course, and I appreciate him asking that question because that was a great Kirby. They played at 12.
Did y'all see
At
Leach?
home.
No.
Did y'all see Leach at halftime of that one?
Yeah. And I know I've been a big Leach guy. X getting tired though. That was a fun act when I got a little dose of it in Lubbock and Pullman, and look at Coach Leach. It's a tired act now. Just win some games, all right? Quit the bitching and win some games.
Yeah, our friends at Cowin Equipment, they are proud to partner with the next round on our venture here. Would love the opportunity to partner with your company for your heavy equipment needs. Visit us. Go to Cowin.com to find out more about how we can be your heavy equipment solution, from rental and new equipment sales to superior service and parts. Again, for more information, Cowin.com.